there. So listen, if you are a guy who has used phrases like, I'm a nice guy and I always get shit on, or I do everything for her and she doesn't appreciate me, or nice guys always finish last, huh? Women don't like nice guys. If you've uttered any of those phrases in your lifetime, you're not going to like this show, but you should watch it. Stay tuned.
What is wrong with you?
Sorry, I thought I canceled this subscription and I still have it, and now it's messed up my bank account. I really need to figure out how to handle my finances better.
Yeah, no, I used to have the same problem. I just use hiatus.
Hiatus? What is that?
It's super easy. I'll explain it to you. Just no more of those weird growly sounds, please. Download the app. You'll be able to see all your subscriptions and cancel the ones that you don't need or want. See which of your monthly bills are negotiable, and Hiatus will negotiate for you. And you'll be able to set up a custom budget. See how easy it is?
That sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm definitely going to download Hiatus. So a little preface here of why we're even talking about this today. And the simple reason is because I was asked. I was asked about this. And I was asked because of my own personal experience many, many moons ago with my being in a relationship with a nice guy. And I learned a lot from that experience, and a lot of it came way after the fact. And I wanted to kind of share what I came up with here about this. And mind you, I am not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist, a professional in mental health, any of that stuff. I'm just talking about my own personal experience and observations based on that. If you are a nice guy, if you are legitimately like simply a nice guy, you don't have to tell anyone that you are. Your actions show that you're a nice person. And don't worry, guys, the girls are going to get a turn too. And women can fall into this category too. There are women who will say, that their own version of that. It's not quite that we say, we're such a nice girl. Why don't guys appreciate me? But it's, somewhere along those lines. Women who, go overboard and do everything under the sun for their partner and feel like they get nothing in return. So yes, of course, there is the female version of this. But today, right now, this topic, we're talking about the guys, okay? So hang in there. So yeah, so if you are a really nice guy, legitimately nice guy, you don't have to tell anybody that you are, because your actions show that you're a nice guy, okay? So it is, for me, a super mega huge red flag, like neon flashing light red flag. If a guy says, I'm a nice guy, why don't women love me or appreciate me or stay with me or any of those things? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to give you all of the reasons why based on my experience. Okay. So the thing with these so-called nice guys, or you so-called nice guys, if you're actually watching it and you fall into this category, I've come to this conclusion that I think you're like an accidental narcissist. And I know you're about to change the channel or shut me off or tell me to go F myself. I think you're kind of like an accidental narcissist. I'll tell you why. So a nice guy will do things for others. Since we're talking about relationships, we're going to talk just specifically about in a relationship. If you're a nice guy, you will do things for your partner and with your partner for the simple act of doing something nice, because you care, because you love them and you want to bring them joy. That's what a nice guy does. A nice guy is someone who is kind, of course, compassionate, friendly, selfless, big-hearted, all of those things. That makes up a nice person, not just a guy. That makes you a nice person. Yeah. What a nice guy is not is someone who does all of those things with expectation. I will do this for you in exchange for. You're probably sitting there saying, oh, I don't expect anything. I do it because I love her. But you would think that somebody would just appreciate when I'm going to stop you right there. Because you see, you do have certain expectations, and that's okay to have expectations. What's not okay is to pretend or to convince yourself and other people that you don't have expectations. It is normal to expect things from your partner in reciprocity. That is a relationship is give and take. But the thing of it is when you are giving and giving and giving, and you have this mindset that if I keep doing this, if I do these things, if I give and give and give, that will make this person love me. And it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. And I know it's hard to understand why, if you do so much for someone, if you give everything that you have, because that's the point that you're coming from, right? You're coming from this place of, I just give and I give and I give, and all I want back is their love. It's not all you want. You want their undying gratitude. You want their adoration. You want their praise, and you want it in such an abundance because you are lacking that for some reason in your life. I don't know your story. I don't know why you have that that desperate need, because that's how it comes across. It's a desperate need for approval and love and attention, and then you get so angry when you don't get back the things that you think you should be getting back. And when you look at that on paper, and that's why people are always like, oh my God, you poor thing. They validate you. They validate nice guys. And they say, because the nice guy is going to sit there and say, I bought her, I don't know what, I don't know, lots of things. I bought her fur coats. I bought her diamonds. I bought her car. I took her on a cruise. I did all these things for her. I remodeled her house for her. I did all of these things for her, and she still doesn't appreciate me. She still wants to leave me, or, whatever, or she still gets mad at me, all, whatever the case is. I don't, there are women out there that is all they want from a partner, another person. I guess the term for that would be like gold digger or something, which I think is an obnoxious term, but whatever. There are definitely women out there who are seeking men who just do things for them and buy them things and give them things. And shame on you for staying with somebody like that. That's really your own fault. That's on you, bud. And obviously shame on them for being that kind of person, but whatever. As soon as you identify it and recognize it, you should just be moving on. But if you are staying there and doing all of these things in hopes that this person will eventually love you the way that you want and need to be loved, you're delusional. You're bananas. I'm sorry, but you are. So, I mean, layers, lots of layers here to that, isn't there? But coming from the flip side of it, on the other end, on the receiving end of somebody who terms themselves as a nice guy. Yeah, man. You're surface nice. You're surface nice. It's only on the surface, because the absolute minute, second, hour, day that you say to a nice guy, I don't need you to do these things for me. I can do it myself. I'm good. I appreciate that you want to do these things, but please don't. Or you are too much. You're smothering. You hear words like this. Do you hear terms like this, guys, who call themselves nice guys? Do you hear phrases like, you're smothering me? You're just too much? You're too nice? That's a shocking phrase, isn't it? When somebody says to you, you're too nice. There is such a thing as being too nice. There's absolutely such a thing as being too nice. And I think a part of that is the person that's on the receiving end of someone who is too nice to them. maybe they don't consciously know it, but they see the truth. They know subconsciously that there is a layer underneath there that is not so nice, and knows that the minute you don't do what this person wants you to do, the nice guy, you are suddenly the bitch. You are an ungrateful, terrible person because you didn't appreciate this nice guy. And that's what they will tell everyone who will listen. I'm just a nice guy. All I wanted to do was everything for her. Why doesn't she love me? And all of these people around the nice guy are validating him and saying, dude, you're such a nice guy. Yeah, the right girl is out there that will appreciate someone as good as you, and blah blah blah. And I know there's good friends out there, that are saying, dude, you are too nice. Stop being so freaking nice. That's dumb. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. It's not normal. What's the balance? What are you looking for? What do you want? Right? The answer to that is somebody who is genuinely nice, who does things because it's what they want to do, because it makes them feel good to do for others, and not expect things in return not doing it for the sole expectation and purpose of getting something in return. And I know that kind of like backpedals on the whole expectation thing, but when you're in a healthy, good relationship with someone, you both do have expectations of each other. And I am not a believer in unconditional love in romantic relationships. I believe in unconditional love for God and for your children. I believe those are the two things, people, existences that are worthy and merit unconditional love, God and your children. As far as a romantic relationship, absolutely not. Romantic love should have conditions. It should have conditions. You must be a certain way, a certain type of person. You must have the type of values and behaviors and actions that work for me. And you should expect the same of me. I feel like that should be obvious, but I know there's people that disagree with me. They're like, no, real love is unconditional. You will love somebody no matter what. And I'm sorry if you're abusive, if you're cruel, if you are hurtful and consistently shitty. No, you lose my love. I'm not going to love you no matter what. And I don't think it's healthy to have somebody believe that they can do anything they want to you, treat you as badly as they want, on whatever whim they have or mood. And you will say, oh, but I love you anyway. I love you anyway. I accept that. Bullshit. You will treat me right. You'll treat me with respect. I will do the same, the exact same. What you give is what you get. And that is healthy. There are expectations in a healthy relationship. So, nice guys, when you are saying, I give and I give and I give, and they just take, they don't appreciate anything, there's a whole lot of other stuff going on there. And you know it deep down. At least I hope you do. Maybe you don't. Because, the nice guys that I have encountered in my life, none of them seem to know what they're really doing. And I called you early on. I called you very early on in this episode. I called you an accidental narcissist. And the reason why I said that is because that is a narcissistic behavior, to act that way towards someone. It is incredibly selfish and self-involved to expect that someone bend to your will and do your bidding and your wishes simply because you do nice things for them and because you're nice to them. No one owes you anything. If you do something, it should be of your own free will and your own choice. Love is not owed to you. It's just not. Love is earned, I think, in my opinion, in my experience and in my life. You have to earn it. And I expect the same. I should have to earn your love. I shouldn't just get your love for existing, just for showing up. Sure, there's, you fall in lust with people when you first meet them, and the whole chemistry and everything, and the physical attraction and all of that stuff. That's the first level. That's the first dimension of starting a relationship, right? The physical attraction, and then you get hopefully an intellectual attraction, and then you learn that you have shared values and all of those things, and you start building. These are all building blocks, but I don't think anybody should just come into a relationship, um, uh, just on the merits of their looks, say, for example, because that's obviously the thing people always go for, like looks, and that is a thing that men, I'll take that back. Women too. We go for that superficial thing. We want this pretty package, and we think about how it will look to others when we bring this beautifully packaged human out and about with us and show them off to the world. And we dismiss the character flaws that might be there. Men and women are guilty of doing that. But since we're talking about the guys, we're going to be very specific here and talk about these nice guys. Nice guys tend to seek out, especially pretty women, or at least pretty in their eyes, their idea of pretty or beautiful, and they put them on pedestals. So they idolize them. So you're already setting up to fail. Okay. So let me set up this formula. Okay. Let me set up this formula for you of what I've seen nice guys do. And here is why you fail every time, why your relationships implode or never lift off, or any of those things. I'm going to tell you right now. Here is exactly what happens. You meet a girl, a woman, and you look at her and you think she is ideal. She is perfect. She is beautiful. She hits all of your little check boxes that you think she is your idea of perfection, and you must have her. She must be yours. You need her in your life because you've fallen instantly in love with her, and you will do anything for her just to get her love. Am I pushing any buttons here? So you do all the things. You pull out all the stops. You take her out for wonderful dinners. You do all the romantic things. You are the Hallmark guy, textbook Hallmark guy to a T. You do all the things. You do the rose petals. You got her teddy bears. You mark your 1 month anniversary. You are so extra, and she's so enjoying it, right? She's like totally into it. She's loving it. She's like, oh my God, this guy is doing all these. He's so romantic. He's so sweet, because girls, we get swept up too. We got swept up in the moment. That's what happens, when there's chemistry and attraction, and it's not the material. It's that we all buy into that Hallmark magic, the fairy tale. We all buy into the country love songs. This is a curse we all have. It's universal. Nothing wrong with it. It just is. But when you are trying to create something real and lasting and deep and genuine, you understand right off the bat that this is a phase that you go through. This is the starting point. And then you start to get deeper, and you start to dig deeper into each other to find out who you really are and if you're really compatible. And that's normal. But what the accidental narcissist, the nice guy, will do is he will get so wrapped up in all of that and all of the things that he can do to win this person's love and affection. And for the other person who is the recipient of all of this, who's like, okay, this is great. Wow, this is like a fairy tale. But now it's time to get real. Now it's time. Okay, we're good with all of that. Now let's move on to the next phase of building a relationship. Let's find out who each other are as human beings. And the nice guy can't stop doing things and stuff. And it starts to wear thin because it looks and feels and is superficial. It's not real. And that shines through. That's what comes through. So the recipient of that is sitting here going, well, this is all great, but when's that shoe going to drop? Where's the real, Joe Schmo? I don't know, whatever. Where's the real guy? Where's the substance? Where's the depth? Where's the connection? And they start realizing, we don't actually, like, all of this was nice and it was fun, but yeah, I'm not feeling the connection. And they're not feeling the connection because there's nothing to connect to. You're a textbook of a playbook. It's like a playbook of things. Do you do this? Let me ask you. I know you can't answer because it's a podcast, but let me ask you so you can answer this question for yourself, I guess. Do you do the same things in every new relationship? I mean, necessarily the same restaurant or the same type of flowers or whatever. I mean, maybe I do mean that. I don't know. But do you find yourself doing the same exact thing in every new relationship? Because that should be a red flag for yourself. Isn't that the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? Come on now. You know better. So, yeah. So, in my personal experience and simply my opinion, that's what happens. And you come across, I'm going to be harsh right now. I mean, I guess I've been harsh the whole time. Sorry. But I'm going to continue to be harsh with you and tell you that, you know what that comes across as? It comes across as weak. It comes across as, yeah, man, it just comes across as weak. That you don't, I want somebody to, I don't want to fight. And I know that's the thing that you guys also always say, oh, she wants a guy to treat her like shit. That's what's wrong with these women. They don't want a nice guy. They want somebody that treats them like shit. Dude, no. We want to be treated with respect and we want to be treated as an equal. I do want somebody who is not afraid to argue with me and disagree with me. And, I hate to use a term like put me in my place, but I will say that if I am acting out, if I'm acting a fool and I'm being a jerk irrationally, I don't want somebody to take that from me. I don't want you to take that from me. You should put me in my place if I'm being an asshole, and vice versa. Obviously, if you're being an asshole, I will so put you in your place. Again, that goes back to that whole equality thing, that whole balance thing. I've talked in previous podcasts and in my book, Welcome to the Family. Yeah, that was totally a plug for my book. I talk about the magic combination that my husband and I talk about, and he coined, which is timing, balance, chemistry. And that is a huge factor in a successful long-term relationship. If you have all three of those things. So if you want to know about that, go get the book or watch some of the previous podcasts, whatever. I think I might have even made a whole thing on it. I have to check now. I'm not even sure. But anyhow, yeah. So if you're that guy who is the terminal nice guy, you can get the girl, but you can't keep her kind of guy. I mean, those are all the reasons why you're not actually a nice guy. Sorry, you're not. If you have to say you're a nice guy, you're not. Your actions say whether you're a nice guy or not. And I'm not talking about, you're probably sitting here saying, my actions do show. My actions always show that I'm a nice guy. I do nice things all the time. If you're pissed off about doing nice things for people, something's wrong, honey. Something's wrong. If you're pissed off about doing nice things for people, you're not doing it with the right motivation and a pure heart. So if you want something real, if you want a woman to respect you, because that's what happens, by the way, we 100% lose respect for a guy who is a doormat or who appears to be a doormat. I can't. And I know you call it being a nice guy. I call it being a doormat. I should not be able to say to you, unless I'm like 9 months pregnant. I mean, that's like a whole different category of things. Generally speaking, let's say we're in a relationship or new relationship, like 3 months. It's 3 a.m. and I say, I want pistachio ice cream, and expect you to jump up at 3 a.m., go to a 24-hour convenience store and find me pistachio ice cream, that's a no. I won't respect you for doing that. I will pout and be whiny, maybe, that you said, so get your shoes, get your keys. We'll go together. I'll go with you to go get it, but I'm not gonna leave this cozy warm bed to go get ice cream at 3 o'clock in the morning. But if you're the guy that goes, you got it, babe. Anything you need, anything you want, I will. I'm getting that ice cream right now. I don't care if I have to go to 5 different stores to get it for you. I get that ice cream. Dude, don't. No, that's absurd. And what an asshole to ask somebody to do that at 3 o'clock in the morning. Come on. Why are you with that person? You don't need that kind of love. Come on. So listen, I think deep down you probably are a nice guy. You've just gotten a little lost along the way of what a nice guy actually is. You've been conditioned and trained somehow, some way, maybe, whatever your formula or type of insecurities are, whatever that mixture is that made you the way that you are. I don't know, childhood, everything goes back to our childhood, right? It probably does, I guess. I don't know. But whatever the case is, you need to retrain your brain, because if you want that kind of love and respect and appreciation from your partner, you got to have a backbone. You have to be able to say no. You have to have balance. You have to have expectations from the get-go, not well after the fact, which I think is what happens, and like I said earlier, I think what you guys do is you give and give and give, and you do all these grand gestures early on with nothing back. And you think that's okay, because they're going to fall in love with me, and then they're going to do X, Y, and Z. No, somebody who just takes and takes and takes from you, they're not in a good place either. So that's a toxic stew right there, definitely. You got to have balance. You have to have your own personal balance. Absolutely being willing and able to do, I'm not saying don't do, because I know it's going to get taken this way, because everybody likes to turn everything around, but I'm not saying don't do great gestures. Yeah, women love that shit, but you got to balance it out. You can't do it all the time. You can't lay it on so thick that it just becomes unreal. And you probably can't even get yourself out of it either. Like, you don't even know how to stop doing it, right? You don't even know how to stop being that guy. So I'm telling you, don't do it to that extreme. I mean, yeah, there's definitely there's a right and wrong, but it's different for every situation. It's different for every relationship, for every couple. Yeah, there is a woman out there who will appreciate all of those things that you do. But the problem is you don't want that woman. You don't want that one. You want the one that is basically going to make you feel like shit about yourself. That's the one that you want. And then you get pissed at her for being a bitch. Because maybe she was a bitch all along. I mean, I don't really freaking know. But you guys that call yourself nice guys, you go for a certain type of women every single time. And this is probably going to be the harshest thing that I say. I'm going to say it anyway. You go for women out of your league. You go for women out of your league. And it's not because they are actually out of your league. It's because you think they're out of your league. Okay, so stop being pissed off at me for saying somebody's out of your league. I'm saying that you think they're out of your league. And that's why you want them, because you think if you're with them, it will improve your ego, your status, your self-esteem, because you'll be able to say, I got a woman like that, whatever this, poor pedestaled woman is. But you did that, buddy. You put her up on the pedestal. You made her larger than life in your own mind. And if you've done that, you will never be in her league. You'll never find your way there, because if you don't already believe that you're in her league, if you are her equal, as good as, there's always going to be the imbalance. You're always going to be the guy that got screwed over. And she's always going to be, the mean, terrible woman who spurned you and did not appreciate your love. That's it in a nutshell. I think that sums it up. So I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. I'm sorry for you. That I am. But you're not actually a nice guy. Okay? You're a guy who does nice things. A lot of nice things. But then you kind of turn ugly, don't you? You get mean. And that's not cool. So if you're that guy, there was a lot of tough love here. Maybe some meanness that wasn't loving at all. Maybe that's a little bit of my own personal experience coming out there. Makes me a little aggressive on the topic. Sure, I can own that. I guess the thing is that you really can't recognize these things until you're far, far away from it and far removed from it. And that was the case for me. It took me years of like reflecting back on that period in time to really, really see it all for what it was. And, of course, that was why I left the relationship, because the writing it was on the wall, and I finally started to see it and said, you know what? I see what I did here. I see what I picked. Okay. Lesson learned. Time to walk away. And yes, I am the villain in that person's mind. You're always the villain in somebody's mind. I don't know if you can change that. I don't think you can change that. You just have to accept it for what it is, and move on with your life. But yeah, self-reflection, personal accountability, introspection, all of those things are really good tools to figure out why you keep repeating the same patterns, why you keep choosing the same type of person in different packaging over and over and over again. One time is like a fluke, right? One time is but several times you have to start saying, is it really them or is it me? So nice guys, I apologize if you hated this episode, but if you're actually watching to this point, thank you. Thanks for watching. And I hope you got something useful and helpful out of it. And yeah, see you next week. Bye.
What? No, I'm not going to make a video to show everybody all the books that I've written. No, it's so weird. It's so tacky. Like, who does that? I'm not going to do that. They don't care. They don't want to go on Amazon or my website and check them out. Why would they do that? Like, really? Why? I mean, it'd be great, but yeah.